Good morning, everybody. So I want to talk a little bit more about my Scrabble situation and the issue of it being heard in a disciplinary way by WESPA or other Scrabble associations. I have no idea whether progress is being made on that front or not, but reading between the lines, I have a little bit of a reason to be optimistic in terms of I've seen in the last few days, based on my metrics, some people going back to some of the old what do you call it, files and attachments and things on the blog, looking at things that look like they might be relevant. And in particular, I see metrics. This isn't just people from one country, it's people from several different countries, which I believe could be people who are involved in the WESPA board or some other disciplinary capacity. So I'm doing some guesswork here, but I'm guessing there are at least some interested parties who might actually be looking into this and considering what needs to be done. I'm going to continue to shoot my mouth off until you guys actually give me an indication that there is progress being done, because I can't count on it if you don't talk to me, and I feel like I need to keep advocating my case. I need to keep making sure that more people see this story and you are held publicly accountable. And I want to be clear about that. There's a lot of things that when I say things in a really rude way or really nasty or angry way, you may hate it. You may think I'm being less of a gentleman. You already got 6 years of me being a gentleman before I started shooting my mouth off. And the fact is that, you know what? When I show emotion or when I am nasty in front of you, it fucking sells. It gets people to tune in and actually watch the fucking videos. And I am happy if I can get more attention on this from other people outside the community, even if that attention is laughing their fucking asses off at your stupidity. You deserve that because you've been behaving in such disgusting ways that have disrespected me, such terrible groupthink that you may think you're all cool, you may think you're protecting each other in your community, but what you're really doing is proving to the rest of the world that you are a bunch of fucking group-thinking idiots. So, anyway, I do want to actually talk a little bit more about Elie Dangoor. And I actually have a really, what I think is a funny story to tell that's actually not related to my disciplinary actions at all. But part of the reason I've been bringing it up is that I did see that somebody yesterday looked back at my old Facebook post where I included the entirety of the conversation that Elie had and I had in private message over a few years. And I'm glad to see that. It's not the first time it's happened. It's happened numerous times in the long period since that was published that people went back and looked at that a few times, linking through my blogs, because I do actually track some of that stuff on metrics. And I do think like it's actually a really great conversation for understanding what happened in terms of Chris Lipe manipulated Ellie's point of view, and Elie went into that conversation with a very bad bias against me and a very counterfactual worldview. And even though he's a well-intentioned person, his worldview is so fucking upside down and believing the evil person and disbelieving the good person that he was extremely abusive to me and continued that conversation on for a very long time after I made clear I did not want to talk to him and I made clear that his conversation was literally traumatizing me. So, anyway, that's not what I'm here to rehash. What I'm here to tell you about is when I played Elie in 2015 at the World Championship in Perth, Australia, when he was still the president of WESPA at that time. And it wasn't actually in the main tournament. I don't remember if we played in the main tournament or not, but the way they had the format there was a main tournament and there was a best-of-7 match between Louis McKay and Wellington Jiggery, who would eventually win the World Championship. And they had concurrently with that World Championship match an after tournament, like a one day or something after it, so that a bunch of us played in that same tournament instead of sitting there and just being spectators watching the World Championship match the whole time. And I was playing in that tournament, and so was Elie. And it was the case that Elie was between rounds of that tournament actually caught up, sitting in the room, I think, watching one of the World Championship final matches in progress, and lost track of the time, was maybe absorbed in the game, whatever it was. But it was past time for my round against Elie to actually start at this point. And because of that, I was sitting at my board, and the tournament director had already started Ellie's clock. And I had my clock there, and his time was ticking, and I don't remember how much time it was. It was probably like something close to 10 minutes or something. It was, not enough for him to forfeit the game, but a significant chunk of time lost before he actually got back to the board and saw what was going on. And what happened was Elie sat down, and I think I'd even stopped the clock by this point, or maybe I hadn't even stopped it yet, but he just sat down and saw the clock running and saw he was down low on time, and he immediately just stopped and reset the clock. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this is completely against the rules of the tournament play here, is that if a player comes late to the board, and their clock is already running, they've lost time, this is a penalty against them that they have to get. They have to play the rest of the game with less time. And you know who I think absolutely should know and understand those rules and understand that resetting the clock is not the right thing to do? The fucking president of the World English Language Scrabble Players Association. And he was just a brain fart. And what ended up happening was I kind of lectured him on the fact that he wasn't supposed to do that, and I had to reset the clock and actually let it click down and wait another 10 minutes or whatever the time was equal to that it had gone off the screen until he was down to about that time limit again, so that we could reset the game. And he did patiently wait there until his clock ran down, and then we finally started the game. But the fact that this took us an extra 10 minutes is because Elie is a stupid fucking moron who does not know how to play Scrabble very well, doesn't understand the tournament rules, and actually just blithely reset the clock when he was not supposed to in the middle of a tournament game. And I personally feel that I want a president of the World English Language Scrabble Players Association who is smarter than that. I don't give a fuck whether it's good or bad intentions. Elie, you are too much of a dumb fuck that you never should have been in that position of power. And I fully recognize that you have a lot of money that you probably inherited from your family or whatever way you got it, and you donated a lot of money to Scrabble. I don't give a fuck. You are too fucking stupid. I hate your fucking guts. I don't want idiots like you being the benefactors of Scrabble. I hope that somebody fucking fleeces you. I hope some smarter con artist comes around and finds a way to talk you out of your money. Why? Because people as dumb as you shouldn't have the power of having a lot of money. You are a fucking moron. I hate your fucking guts. Go fuck yourself.